There are basically, for something to be a polygon, it has to have two characteristics. Does anybody remember them from last year or from any time? Or maybe we've never talked about this. This just could be. Number one, Aubrey, it has to be
straight.
Okay, they have to be all straight sides, straight lines, made up of straight lines. In other words, you can't have an arc. A circle is not a polygon. This thing is not a polygon. It has to be straight lines. They don't have to really be in any straight fashion, but they have to be straight lines. And the other thing it has to be is, Isabel?
Closed.
Yeah, what we say closed. If that doesn't mean anything to you, I always like to use the little ant thing. If you have a bunch of ants in it, can they get out? The ants can't get out. So if here's your little polygon and you got a whole bunch of ants in here, you know, all they can do is keep bouncing off the walls, they can't get out. If this was your shape, you know, and you had a bunch of ants in here, they could all come out this little opening here. It has to be completely closed. You get those two things, it's a polygon, everybody's happy. In addition to that, let's make sure we understand what the word regular means. And I think we've talked about this too this year. Anybody? Actually, you probably should put regular on a different piece of notepaper, because if I tell you, if on a quiz I say, you know, how long are the sides of a regular pentagon, why would you look under polygon and look for the word regular? Or you know, you could go to regular and say see polygons or something like that to tell you to look back there. But what does regular mean? Somebody, anybody, going once, going twice, three times? Regular means all sides are equal. All sides would be equal. The shapes that we talk about today, you usually think of the regular forms of them. I'll tell you what I mean right here, right now. For example, let's see, number of sides. Draw something like that. This is not very good. What is a five-sided shape called? Five-sided shape is called a pentagon. And normally when you think of a pentagon, what do you think of the shape of it being? Usually it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be its regular form, because all these sides I tried to make as equal as possible. But any polygon that has 5 sides is a pentagon. It could look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it has 5 sides, it's a pentagon. But usually we think of its regular form, which means all sides are equal. Got that? Yes, Mr. Hondas. A 4-sided shape, please don't say rectangle. 4-sided shape is a, Kate?
Square.
It is not a square. 4-sided shape is, Riley?
Quadrilateral.
Quadrilateral. Now normally we think of squares and rectangles and all those sort of things. You know, a regular quadrilateral would be a square, but we've got a whole section of quadrilaterals. Other quadrilaterals, you know, are what? Trapezoids, trapeziums, rectangles, rhombuses, what? Diamond, kite. Those are all kind of those. A 3-sided shape is a triangle. And the regular shape of that is what we call what, the equilateral one. I don't know if we get into those today or not. I don't think so. A 2-sided polygon. 2-sided polygon is, Grace Christ, name of a 2-sided polygon? Yeah, maybe not having 3 coffees would have done you a little good.
I had 2.
Anybody, 2-sided polygon? Yeah, that's what I thought. No such thing, by the way. There's no way you can take two straight lines and make it closed. No way. Smallest polygon you can have is a three-sided shape. Six-sided is a hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That wasn't quite right. Am I running out of room? I think I am. Six-sided shape is a hexagon. 7 sides is a heptagon. How far did they go? Wait, we don't do an 8 side? Oh, we do. They go all the way up to 12. Great. How are we going to do that? Next page. 8 sides is a octagon. 9 sides is a nonagon. I'm not making that up. 10 sides is a decagon. 11 sides, I'm gonna have to look. A hendecagon. I would not have been able to tell you that. I do know the 12-sided shape because it's my favorite. Anybody? A dodecahedron. Dodecagon. Dodecagon. It's not dodecahedron, just dodecagon. D-O-D-E. D-C-A-G-O-N. It's always good to have in your notes just in case they ask some questions about it. You'll always draw something. Every assignment you draw something, Kate.
Yeah, but
Drawing regular ones are pretty tough. Regular octagons are not too bad because they're stop signs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stop. 10s and 9s, they get a little tough. A couple other things with polygons. The corners of polygons are called what? One is a vertex. Plural of vertex is vertices or vertices. Those are the corners. The book talks about what's the difference between being congruent and similar. Anybody? Because you will hear that quite a bit. If two things are congruent, they are, Jane, shoot, exactly the same. As opposed to if two things are similar, they what? Carol Wickland? What's that? Well, they have the same shape. And when I think of similar, I usually use the old balloon theory here. For two things to be similar, you can have two rectangles that are not similar. Okay. If this is a rectangle here, and this is a rectangle here. While they're both rectangles, they're not similar because you think about this as being a balloon. If this had a little place to blow it up, you blew it up. You know, if this side here only got a little over 1 time bigger than this side, it should have stopped maybe right here. Okay, this got doubled or whatever. This is doubled. If one side doubles, the other side should double equally. All squares would be similar. Because you got a little square that looks like this, the big square, if one side doubles, the other side has to double. You know, this triangle is not similar to this triangle. This one's kind of a short, skinny, tall one. This one's kind of a nice, equilateral kind of one. Now think about a balloon. As you go, all sides have to kind of grow equally. So you got congruent, which means exactly the same. They would have to look exactly like. Similar means they have the same shape. They also are what we call proportional. And last but not least, something I always forget to tell people is dilation. That's part to do with similar. What's dilation mean? Anybody ever been to the eye doctor and had your eyes dilated? Dilation means to get bigger. In your eyes, what is it that's getting bigger? Your pupil, and then you can't see because it lets too much light in, and you like have to wear the little sunglasses and blah 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 blah. I'm not sure what they'll Oh, I suppose we should talk about this too. Congruent, when you talk about two things being congruent, you could use an equal sign because that means equal. For similar, if two things are similar, we use this little symbol. You have an equal sign, but above it you have a little squiggly line, like that. That just tells you it's a similar shape, not necessarily equal. I thought that was relatively exciting. If you'd be so kind.